Welcome to the Accounting Technology Lab, sponsored by CPA Practice Advisor, with your hosts, Randy Johnston and Brian Tankersley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Accounting Technology Lab. My name is Brian Tankersley. I'm one of your hosts, and we're quite excited to be here with you. This is a special episode where Randy Johnston and I actually walked the entire trade show floor at Scaling New Heights in Orlando. Scaling New Heights, of course, is run by Woodard at Woodard.com. They're one of the leading organizations providing community and support and practice management consulting for bookkeeping and CAS practices. So, again, it's a slightly different focus than what we see at AICPA Engage. Now, the Woodard Show has about 1,800 attendees and about 140 vendors there, whereas the AICPA Engage includes a lot. AICPA Engage is much more big firm oriented, and Woodard is much more CAS and bookkeeping and payroll oriented. So it's again, they're similar markets but different, and the companies you saw there are there. Now, I will just tell you that we actually uploaded about an hour of video where we walked the entire AICPA Engage floor, and what you'll see there is that again, the things at AICPA Engage typically are things that would be used by bigger firms, and the things at Woodard would be used by smaller firms or large CAS practices or organizations that are trying to automate their bookkeeping and accounting. Woodard again offers practice management consulting services and all kinds of other things as part of their program. You can learn more about that at Woodard.com. Thank you again for being here. And again, we're going to include the entire thing unedited, so please don't be offended if somebody walks by us and uses some of the 7 words you can't say on television. We've tried to edit those things out, but we may have missed 1 or 2 there. Anyway, looking forward to again showing you what we learned at this conference. Okay, with that, here's the video.
All right, well, welcome to the Accounting Technology Lab. I'm Randy Johnston with my co-host Brian Tankersley. He's running the camera today. Here we are at Scaling New Heights in Orlando, and the show floor has enough interesting things we thought it was worth a walk through with you. So you can see the giraffe is working behind us as the FP&A tool. We have Keeper, a platform which has done a good job of managing CAS workflows, and we will want you to think about Keeper as a possible alternative for you. So, in any case, and over here we have the Zoho team. Zoho was at AICPA Engage, just like Keeper was. We've got the guys from FingerCheck, which have a payroll system. CPA Charge is one of the leading finance platforms, compete with QuickFee, those types of players. And of course, right behind them are the ZenWork folks, the 1099 folks. We'll cover them more here in just a minute. Now, the RC Reports guys have reasonable compensation as part of their proposition. And here we have Results Software, a CRM product that really specializes in field service type of work. Founder there is Sam Carr. Looks like he's dealing with other people, so we'll come back to him. Then over on the opposite side of them, we have the TRM network, the tax network folks. And then we have the team from I1. Looks like here they're basically talking about their I1 experience and payments platforms and others. So remember that they have 3 basic platforms. I1 Experience is the Agilence product that's been rolled into their environment. Payments is their traditional. They're deploying practice management now. And I think it's 7 firms is the last number I heard. And we have tax being developed by these guys to be sold as well. So over here is the Stanford Tax folks. These guys have a portal that's actually one of the nicer ones that's in the environment. And Looks like the founder's there. We may have to come back and talk to him a bit later. Here you have the SASANT folks, which basically have been doing hosting type of work. The CPA.com platform environment is there. Oh, it looks like Sam's freed up. Do you want to pick up Sam?
Sure.
Yeah, let's go back and pick up Sam. So, Sam, Mr. Saab. Good day, welcome. I have a little bit of my friend here with me, Brian Tankersley.
Hi, Brian.
So I've known Sam from a long time back. We met at the Sleater conference originally, and we've known each other 15 plus years at this point.
It's 2009 at the Sleater
2009, oh my. But you have built something very nice here with your results field service management. What can you tell us about that?
The results system is an end-to-end operation system. It helps any entity run their business, especially if they're using QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online. We become a wrapper around that system to give them all sorts of functionality. CRM capabilities, sales opportunities, project management, even field service management. And so it allows everybody within the organization to run from one product and have the financial data bi-directionally move in and out of QuickBooks to give them that big picture on the financials.
And what's interesting to me about results is it's so scalable and you can get so much actionable operational data outside QuickBooks, and you can do all sorts of specialized things that I think should be done within a platform. So you built a very nice little platform that's very affordable.
Appreciate that, and it is. We start at $29 for a CRM, going all the way to $89 on the full business suite. So it makes it really very functional and affordable for the companies to be able to mix and match the licenses that works best for them.
Super, Sam. Well, we appreciate your time. And
thank you so much, Randy.
Success. We'll see you again.
Thank you. Have a good day, Brian.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sam.
So now, as we continue to walk down through the scaling environment, we have the QuickBooks training group here with Worldwise. They've got an offering as well. And over in here, I guess we don't have the big dog on the floor. The Siegel Solutions actually have high-end ERP solutions. They're an Acumatica reseller and have done pretty well in their environment. How you doing? Now here we have another practice management platform that you and I'll need to do more research on, called Buddy. And I will actually try to pick up information on them, but Brian will need to come back here and talk to what they have. Hey, we're doing well. So here you've got Relay. This is, as you can see, real estate and other data analytics pieces. So we'll want to come back and talk to Relay in terms of what they've got. The Spotlight reporting folks on this side have one of the standardized reporting tools, Fathom, Spotlight, Giraffe, those type, all work in that particular environment. We'll come back and talk to you guys. Then we have Settle here. Settle is actually heavy duty and costing, and we'll see if we can get Pete's attention to talk to him. The Sin 7 folks we like very much. This is a good extension for distribution, manufacturing against QuickBooks. They've done well over the last little bit. They've also got interfaces into Xero. In the corner, we have the Plan Guru product. And as it turns out, they do a nice bit of budgeting, forecasting, and analytics is available from them. If we look, in fact, we'll go on down the hall here just a little bit because it looks like Pete is tied up.
Hi there, how are you?
Here we have Remedian.
All right, so
Solomon and his team have built a very nice payment system for tax payments and for extension payments, those types of things. So I'm kind of excited. That's working well in Canada. They're bringing it here. Come here. Here you have Moneypenny, and here they've been doing back office accounting. So think of them as outsourced accounting. Looks like Pete did for that. So Mr. Roscoe, do you have a moment to speak?
Yes, hi, how are you?
Great. Well,
Hey, Pete, good to see you.
so I know you've kind of joined Settle. We don't know what our listeners should know about your platform and company. What would you like everybody to know?
Yeah, sure. All right, so we are helping accountants that support inventory-based businesses. And we know a lot of times people just like to shy away from inventory because it's hard. So what we're trying to do is make it easier and add value to what the firms are trying to do. And they're really just trying to get to the financial statement, get the right costing in place. And so what we do is we're a full platform from procurement, purchasing, payments, inventory management, and then working capital funding. So it starts with the brand that, maybe they have some Shopify sellers, so we connect to the Shopify account, bring in all their SKUs. They can add, their baseline cost, which is the product cost, but then there's also landed costs. And that's like the thing that accountants really care about, because they want to make sure that that's accurate. And so we did landed costs. I call it landed cost accounting. It's a free plan that people have and can use. And then, and so like things like tariffs, which everyone's talking about right now, and then you got the shipping and setup fees. We allow you at the PO to kind of estimate what you think the freight's going to be, and it'll compute a landed cost. And so then you want the landed cost in order to really get the real the product gross profit. And so we're doing that. And you can have estimates, and then when the real bills come in, you can update it. And then we're doing inventory management, so we connect to over 90 different warehouse management systems. And so now firms are that have been doing accounting for inventory businesses are now getting into inventory management and offering that, because now they got a platform that's affordable. It's $99 a month for the accounting firm clients. And then we just launched the integration with A2X. A lot of e-commerce brands use A2X, they love A2X. And so we built an integration with them. So they're posting the daily sales, and then we give them a weighted average landed cost, so they can also post the cost of goods sold on that day. And so now we went from maybe a month to get gross profit with fully landed costs to daily gross profit.
Wow, that's super. You got every question I was going to ask you minus one. Sales orders too?
So we are building that. We can do manual sales orders, but we do have brands that are omni-channel. So we're adding that functionality. We're going to have an integration with SPS Commerce, so that if they're working with Whole Foods and those people, they can do these EDI transactions. So yeah, that's coming in the near term.
Super. What a great explanation. So great to see you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, good to see you. Good to see you.
We'll
Bye-bye.
talk more.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Pete.
So in the big picture of things, that's a nifty sounding inventory. So over here we have Sweet Files. Sweet Files has actually come to us. Looks like he's kind of tied up with something. We'll come back and ask about his product, because this is one of the nicer products we've found for just handling regular file management. So better than Dropbox, comparable to some of the so, as he finishes up, we'll get there. In the meantime, so with Pat and Archer, we have valuation capabilities. With Madras, this is one of the outsourcing offshore people that is in this group. And Brian, I should have maybe got you on the other side, but the U's behind us, these guys, AP Automation, I think I first evaluated in about 2017 or 18, but they continue to do pretty nicely.
The last I checked, they really were focused on bigger companies with 100 or more invoices a month.
That's right. So they tend to have that bigger company invoice type of approach. But if we go down just a little bit further here, we basically have ConnectStock, which is an e-commerce platform. So if you're into e-commerce, might be a worthy review. And also on the opposite side here, you have Job Tread construction product. We've seen several construction products on the floor. I wanted you to be aware of Job Tread. So we'll come back to that. So from there, BDO Alliance has a booth here operating. Woodard is a member of the Alliance. And then you also have over here Acru for invoice management, so more on the AR and flexible payment. There's about 4 or 5 vendors on the floor that are doing that type of work. Live has had lots of traffic, and they've got a lot of things in here that is practice management. Again, Brian Kreblin's been there on his team. They are doing firm management pieces and due date monitoring portal, so this will be my 91st or 92nd portal product in the marketplace. So, Arrive, good plan there. And next up on this is Project Works here to the side. You're doing fine, no worries. But basically here, benchmarking inside here is part of what they're doing. And it's really competitive intelligence. That would have been actually a nice thing to know before I talked to you. So we'll come back to spend a little more time here as well.
You could also,
Now from here is SafeSend. We have talked about SafeSend in other technology lab podcasts. So that's the Thomson Reuters delivery platform for tax returns. And over on the other side here, good to see you, Derek.
See you as well.
So we just show up wherever we're invited. You know how it
Nice, good
goes?
for you guys. I like the coats too.
Thank you.
So I'll get out of your way.
Oh, no worries. Good to see
You
you.
as well.
So here we have RightWorks, which is hosting company, but they've got other things besides that as well. And then from there, if I can get you through this spot right here,
those rates.
Makers Hub Company. This is one of our favorite products that we discovered a couple of years ago at this point. I cited them today in AI. Yeah, let's move over a little bit. And also in the tech update. But if you're looking for an extraction platform, this is really the deal. I'll come back and talk to them as they've got a little bit of time.
Because on most of our packages we have unlimited users.
Down this way, you can see basically with their banking operations, and also ZenWorks Tax 1099 is offered here. And then you've got one of the big dogs over this way with Bill.com, and they're payable. So I think we'll swing around the other way, Brian. Off in the distance here, you can see Bill 360, a bill payment platform. I talked to the founder of that platform last year. And then from here, we have FinSmart, which is obviously an outsourced provider in the market. What I call big aisle. Friends from Zemo, and I'm going to let you shoot what you'd like to there. Zero looks like they're double trucked here. So they've got a position here. That's great. We had our friends at Sage.
I like the lab guys.
Yeah.
Hi. We could look down and see your building. Really? Yes.
Well, can we talk to you for a minute?
Sure, but I gotta get someone else to talk.
Oh, you can't talk? Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh. Well, we would like to have Wendy talk, but she's going to have somebody else talk.
Because Kasana people.
How are you? Nice meeting you.
Good day.
How are you?
We're good. This is Brian Tankersley. I'm Andy Johnson, we do the Accounting Technology Podcast.
Nice.
So we just wanted to know what was new with Sage this year, what we should be telling our listeners.
Okay, great. What we're really doing is working with automation tools. Now, every vendor here, is automating and getting into AI. But what we're really doing is creating a safe platform and a simplified platform for accounting firms to be more productive with the current base they're dealing with. Because we know that their top challenges are staffing shortages, offshoring, streamlining process and automation, and lastly,
We know how to get that.
yeah, exactly. So those are the things they're working with, and we want to make sure that we provide tools that enable them to free up their time to work on these mission-critical things that they have to work with as they advance their advisory practices.
Yeah. And so are you basing a lot of your strategies around Sage Auto Entry, or do you have other things, other tools that you...
The cool thing about our strategy is our tools are agnostic solutions, so they work with all of the GL platforms. So we're no longer competing out in the market. We're more like frenemies with the QuickBooks and the Xeros. So yes, that's where we are right now as far as our solutions. So we know we can compete in those spaces because we have something for anyone.
Yep, understood. Any other key things that our listeners should know about Sage strategies? Because we go all the way back from Sage 50 and
the
Intech,
P3
and we got it all.
Yep. I was just going to say we are advancing some of the strategies with our Sage Intech product as well for our enterprise accountants. Some of the things we're launching there is more AI-enabled capabilities within the solution. That will be available within the next 12 months. That's what to look for. But just in general, AI is taking over. There's a 50-50 argument in the world right now as far as accounting space on whether or not they're going to adopt AI and what it looks like and how it's going to feel.
Yep.
So that's where we kind of are, and you can look out for those developments with our Sage Intech product.
I got you. So help me say your name right.
Kasana.
Okay, well that's easy then. Kasana people.
Yes.
So maybe
All right.
we'll see you in the Atlanta office sometime. We
Sounds
go there
good.
pretty frequently.
You are welcome.
Thank
Anytime.
you. See
Thank
ya.
you.
Thanks, sir.
Bye, guys.
All right, so Brian, as we come down this way, we have the Mango folks here, and they had also said that if we could get them, they're talking with somebody right now, so let's circle back. And over here, the ADP folks and their payroll and HR offerings, so kind of big dog. Here with Human Interest, you basically got HR platform, I believe, that interfaces with lots of different systems.
Okay, we have to give them an award. Best trade show swag ever, the Tide Pin.
Oh yeah, the Tide Pin. That is-
Absolutely. Hands down, best trade show swag ever.
you're probably right. The Notified people here, they're construction software also, so they're doing contracting service work, costing, proposal work. They got a nice overall system, so that's part of it. Didn't really cover these guys when we were there before, but Melio payment system has actually done their little Paywatch pun, if you will. So they're participating. And over this way, we have a few people that are eliminating stress down the way. Let me kind of turn that way. And we have Avalara here to our right. And so Avalara is a sales tax percent. It looks like Nick is free, so sorry to get you off the phone there.
Yeah, no problem. We're just helping out a customer.
Oh, that's all that counts, right?
That's all I want, so.
So this is my associate Brian Tankersley. So this is Nick Hutchinson. Odd enough, I'm from Hutchinson. That's why it's an easy name for me to remember from this morning. But tell us what we should know about, and our listeners should know about Avalara's.
So with Avalara, we specialize in indirect tax compliance. So that looks like we can help out businesses no matter the country, state, or province that they sell into. And what we can do is help automate their indirect tax compliance through their given system, such as like QuickBooks, NetSuite, Sage, Epicor, different systems that you use. So that way, as you build invoices, we can handle the product and service taxability. We can help file the returns, manage your exemption certificate management, and then the scope of services can include anything from helping you uncover your Nexus footprint all the way to business licenses to property tax. So that's the fun part. As businesses come in, they just outline what issues they're having, and then we put compliance plans together for them.
Makes good sense. So tell me, how many systems are you interfaced with nowadays? Last I knew it was about 1,200 plus. What's the real number?
That's the fun part. Is I joined at the end of 2020 and we had 1,200 different integrations, and now we're over 1,500. So due to our open API integration, if you have a custom built software or you create your own system, we can integrate within there. So that's the fun part, is we can help out companies and businesses no matter the size or tech stack.
And my rule of thumb on this, friends, has been you can't do sales tax on your own. It's too complex. The jurisdictional support's too complex. And you heard some of the other supporting items from Nick. So cool. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you coming by.
Yes, sir. So I think from here, let's take a look over on this side, Brian. We've got Grow, the financial platform. And they're quite a big player on this. And we also have the Filed folks. No, you're fine. Filed has done a nice job of getting AI tax preparations. We spoke to Larry in Vegas at AI CPA Exchange. So I hope they're having a good show.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, I know a lot of...
So I just noticed, and it's great. Clearing up about Brian when we had a customer, but I'd like for you to meet Brian from Mango. Now, we've talked in the past, but it's been a bit. So tell us what's new. Tell our users what's new with your platform.
Yeah, well, great to see you.
You don't have to lean. It's got good picture.
Great to see you.
And great to see you as well. Yeah, you can lean into me. It's all right.
Well, I think Mango. Look, it's an exciting product. We come here every single year. I think more and more accountants are looking for all-in-one solutions. You know, they have a pretty complicated tech stack.
Yep.
And so at Mango, we build solutions for accountants by accountants. We try to solve simple problems. So anything that an accountant might need, engagement letters is a product that we released last year. So sending out engagement letters, getting retainers, getting engagement letters signed, getting a client billed, invoice, time tracking. We have a great project management tool. We have a very complex reporting and a great DMS. So we really look at and strive for an all-in-one solution and make it simple for accountants.
Yeah. So when you get a product like this, it's actually hard to summarize it for you because there's so many things in it, and you've got new things arriving all the time.
Yeah.
So that's nice about your platform. In terms of, and this is going to sound like it's negative, but it's not, because I want people that fit you to be on the platform. Are the things that you don't do or that are going to be in your near-term pipeline?
Look, I think the market, is segmented. You've got some practice management firms here that specialize in 1, 2 users. I'd say the mid-market in accounting is 2 to 50, maybe 75 users, and then you've got the 100 plus.
Yep.
And I think for people, it's important that they understand and pick the right solution for their size firm. I think a lot of people that I talk to are people that have a mismatch, right? They're looking for maybe a simpler solution, and their firm has a solution that's really for people that are very, very large firms.
Yep.
And the same note, if you have a 1, 2 user firm, and then you graduate, you become now a 5, 10, 15 person firm. Now you're going to need more things. What we do really, really well is targeting these firms up until the 7,500 user range. And I think the reason we do that well is, first, it's a very simple product, and if you're not a 1,000 person firm, if you're a 50, 75 person firm, you need a product that has easy adoption within your firm. You want people, once you buy it, once you do the price comparisons and the feature benefit analysis, like at the end of the day, the people that buy the software not necessarily are the heavy users. So they need to think about how you do onboarding, how you generate adoption. Mango is very simple and intuitive to use. So that's how we differentiate. At the same time, as you go up in scale, as you grow as a business, what we've noticed is owners start moving away from simple time and billing, integrated payments. Now they want more sophisticated reporting. They want much more sophisticated project management. And we do those things very well in addition to kind of simple time and billing.
And your earlier statement, we 100% agree with. Lots of people want an all-in-one solution. There's a number of them that we're aware of that have deficiencies in certain areas. You would never say that, but that's our job is to say, there's some problems here. And we do find people buy the wrong level of products pretty frequently, but they're listening to market. So I kind of get that. You seem to be always happy with me. Very straightforward and factual.
Yeah.
And I think your platform has done a pretty good job. But, at this point, listeners, we've got at least 61 practice management products that we're tracking. And for you trying to understand what the market looks like, it's tough. So somebody like you,
I think it's very confusing for the average person who's they're running their business. They just want to do accounting, and now they have to be a technologist to buy software. The vast majority of people that we get are people who have built a tech stack over time, a lot of different products. They've been promised that these products will be speaking well with each other, they're integrated, and they don't. And so, it's a big decision for a firm to invest in practice management. So I think definitely coming to a show like this, getting involved in your platform and others that can offer advice, you do not want to make a mistake buying this sort of solution because it can create a lot of headaches.
Absolutely.
So it's not just what the product does, but what you as a firm need and what stage you are in your evolution as a business, and finding product market fit.
So you saw me checking in Utah. So I knew you were from Utah, but I didn't know you were from Park City because I didn't think you were down on the Silicon Slopes, right? So, but it turns out, Brian Drosness and Mango out of Park City. How long have you been in business? I should remember that.
So Mango really is a combination of both Mango and Imagine Time, which is one of the first practice management solutions for accounting firms. So we've been in business for more than 25 years.
Yeah, I remembered the Imagine Time, merger is whatever I should call that, but I got it. All right, friends. Well, you're hearing it straight from the horse's mouth, Brian with Mango, and that's another practice management for consideration. So, Brian, thanks again.
Thanks, man.
I hope you get a lot more conversations here on the floor. Appreciate it. And we'll continue to talk. All right, so we have on this side also Gusto. So they've done a nice job in terms of payroll and the like. We had the good fortune earlier to hear from Porknet from Main Stage as he told the story about how they filed forms of all kinds. Now, one here that's kind of interesting is a workflow tool. We will have to learn more about Zaptiva for you, but that is supposedly a one-click flow type of environment. And I'm thinking, Brian, yes. So we can go down that way. So let's pick that up. We'll talk some more with the Digits AI folks and their AI automated workers. Which they basically now say is $100 per month to have
Per client.
Per client. And of course the file folks. If we in fact have some of our file friends available to us, but while we're doing that, on this side we have the Fidelity team with 401k offerings that they have. So we're in there. And we'll come a little further and we'll come back. you can see across the back wall here, we have Paytrade and Fathom, another reporting product to compete against Spotlight. And then you've got the Tax Resolution Company, Flood Protection Plus, and then the Universal Accounting folks. So, all right. Well, welcome to the Accounting Technology Lab. Brian and I were wandering the show here at Woodard Scaling New Heights, and he said, that can't be Doug. No, it's not Doug Abadi.
It's the ghost of product management past.
It absolutely is exactly that. And then he said, well, do you know what Appventory does? And it's like, no, I don't. But it turns out the problem being solved is one we've been talking about since 2020. We know that people are spending too much money on software, and it turns out that we have been showing about 5 to 7 apps which would compete against you in the marketplace. So now that I've set you up a little differently this time, talk to me about what happened here.
No, it's such a delight to see both of you. And after spending time at Xero and at Sage, I saw that businesses that use technology well perform exceptionally well. Today, a lot of businesses are spending too much on software. They have a sales director who needs 2 apps. They pay for the app. The sales director leaves. They continue paying for the app. So when we talk to advisors, and we've been going for 3 years, really focused in the UK because they had a particular need and affinity for this. And so what it does, it creates an inventory of the apps. It goes into the accounting, pulls out all the expenses of all the apps. The system knows 1,800 apps. One of the problems we solve is if you try to do that yourself, is the software and the invoice have different names. So we've matched all that up. We then connect to the Google, Microsoft, wherever you say, hey, I'm signing in with Microsoft. And so for your accounting firm, we know all the users for that. So literally, and we have contests here, overnight people are coming back and saying, hey, I tried out your system, it took 30 minutes to set up, and I'm saving $10,000. So what it does is that Problematics apps will point out which apps you have no users logging into, which apps you have too many subscriptions for, which apps you have 2 of, or say reporting you have 5 of that you can consolidate. Now, we have a real passion, again, because of our background, for advisors. So we have a free plan for advisors and one of their clients. And we know that if advisors love it, they will recommend it. So we're excited to be here. We're just starting to market in the US. We're about 90 people, 40 people in the development, and just super excited. It's the same passion of help businesses do better with their technology, and AI actually plays in this as well. It can look across all your apps and see where you have redundant apps, and I think my fan favorite feature, which we'll have for Intuit Connect, is Ask Appventory. So say your sales director comes to you and goes like, hey, I'm doing a lot of proposals. I need software to do proposal. Today the CFO goes like, okay, what's it cost? Yeah, it makes sense, you should have it. In October or earlier, you'll be able to ask the Appventory, do we already pay for presentation software to do proposals in the 35 apps that we have? And you can say, yes, here's 3 of them, pick one. And the beautiful thing is, that'll already be connected to their accounting, so when the client says, yes, I want that proposal, the invoice flows through to the system.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now, I think you told a bit of a story that as you were trying to start this up, you maybe took wife's advice. I've done that before.
Yeah, so a little side story is, I've been working in large global organizations, and she's like, hey, you're working 70 hours a week, you're helping the business grow, why don't you do that yourself? And I had never really thought of it. I was like, I just enjoy helping businesses grow and thrive. When she gave me the green light, the first thing I did is I hired the best people I knew from across the 25 years I've been in the business. So we have an amazing global team. If you think of a software product and you said, hey, I love their service and support, there's a really good chance that I hired the service and support director from that business. and the like. So we have great service support and the details.
So does that make you Zorro with the pink robe here? You know.
Well, superhero.
Superhero. Okay.
And
so not Robin Hood, taking from the rich and giving the poor.
I must say that there's something to a cape, because when I was standing here without the cape, I was getting lots of people coming up and talk to me. When I put on the cape, twice as many people came by. So if you're a tech advisor, put on a cape, you'll have more clients.
Or maybe a white coat.
Exactly.
That is fabulous. Doug, it's such a pleasure to see you. I can't believe it's been too long.
Yes, no, it's amazing. And I think people will be hearing more and more about Inventory. We have outstanding customer reviews and engagement.
I'm sure they will. We'll actually play with it ourselves, so Brian and I will be more literate. We'll cover that in a future Accounting Technology Lab, and you'll probably see it in our K2 content as the fall unfolds. Again, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
All right. Yeah, okay, I get it. Yeah, because... Okay, just want to confirm you got microphone?
Yeah, I've
microphone.
got 2 lights, so they're both running.
Okay, that's all beautiful. All right. So welcome to the Accounting Technology Lab. I'm Randy Johnston, on the floor at Scaling New Heights at the Woodard Conference, if you will, and got the chance to meet here Ethan. Say your last name for me correctly.
Spadino.
Spadino. Okay, I might have guessed it and got it right.
It's Italian, but funny enough, I'm actually 0% Italian. Did a DNA test, and what do you know? 0%. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought on that? But in any case, Spotlight's a reporting tool we've talked about for some years with you, and he's from Pennsylvania, but has been in New Zealand with the company. So, if you could give us a little bit of background on Spotlight, where you're at and so forth, that'd be appreciated.
Yeah, for sure. Should I hold this?
I can get it.
Oh, okay, cool, awesome. Yeah, so Spotlight reporting, so in the name, it's actual reporting, historicals, and then also forecasting. It's all visual heavy. The metric I like to keep in my head that Joe Woodard's been saying is only 5% of people can spot a trend numerically, let's say in a profit and loss. They need to see graphs, they need to see visuals. But something we do is we do a lot of education with the reports, because yes, they're really nice, they look great, but at the end of the day, if an accounting firm uses our reporting tool and they just send it out to the clients and expect them to get value, they're not, and they might not even read it. So they need the experts. So we do a lot of education around our tool. And that's kind of our differentiator. So.
Okay, I got it. And I understand you were in Wellington for a bit with the company.
Yes.
And beautiful country, love New Zealand. And actually, my mom's best friend was from Rotorua.
Oh, okay, Rotorua, there you go.
So, yeah, we've been there and, seen the glowworms and all that.
Yeah.
But just tell us about what your track has been with the company. What do you see happening kind of now and next?
Yeah. So the buzzword that everyone's gonna know what I'm gonna say is AI. So that's coming out here really soon. And then we're doing a lot of partnerships. So our next big one, actually, that's really exciting, is Carbon. So we're integrating with Carbon by the end of the summer. So I've already had a bunch of people stop by the booth yesterday, ask about it. So yeah, that's the thing I'm excited about.
That is super. Well, thank you for your time today, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll see you again.
Yeah.
Good day, I'm Randy Johnston with the Accounting Technology Lab. I've got Brian behind the camera today, but I have very fortunate experience of having Ali Moore from Basil, a practice management product, who has a few words about what Basil can do. So Ali?
Absolutely. So Basil is a practice management software. It has all the standards, right? The client portal, unlimited e-sign, tasks and workflows, communication features, invoicing. Our primary goal is to allow people who maybe are priced out of other softwares, maybe because they don't have enough team members or because they just started their business, and give them technology that's still powerful. So that is our main goal. We've also tried really hard to make it extremely user-friendly. So we don't have a lot of fluff. It's a very simple software to navigate, not only for the team internally, but also for the clients, which is arguably the most important part, right? So that's the main goal. We have 5-star support based here in the United States, and very cost-effective product at $30 a month per team member, or $300 a year per team member. So no cost for clients, no cost for support, unlimited onboarding and training, and I think that's about it.
You know, I was going to ask you that pricing question, but that's absolutely good that you did that. So who would you say is your primary target client? What size firm, or, you know, the number of people? And are there any particular features that you're particularly strong at, or things that maybe you don't do quite as well right now?
Sure. We definitely target small to mid-sized firms. The reason being is because we do not have a lot of the integrations with, let's say, certain tax softwares or certain invoicing platforms that the bigger practice management companies will have, but that's on purpose so we can keep our costs low. So as far as strengths or weaknesses, I'll say the same thing. We don't have a lot of those integrations that people might be looking for. And once again, at our price point, we've just decided not to go there. But strengths would definitely be the ease of use of the software. It's a very, I would show it to you if I could, but it's a very simple, easy to navigate, straight to the point type of software.
Beautiful. Well, I know we'll get the chance to look at it more with you. And in a future Accounting Technology Lab, we'll give you some greater in-depth coverage of the Basil platform. So, Allie, thank you very much for today.
Thank you, everyone.
Welcome to Accounting Technology Lab. I'm Randy Johnston with my co-host Brian Tankersley behind the camera today. But I actually have the privilege of meeting Jean Hardy from Levy. Did I get that product name right?
Got that right.
Okay, because I worry about those types of things. But she's out of Brooklyn, New York, has been a practitioner for some time, 20 plus years, I understand.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, I'd like to have you tell our listeners, Jean, about your platform and product and just what you'd want people to know.
Absolutely. Thank you. So it's true. I am an operator. I have a firm that's been around for 20 years now. And a few years ago, we started looking for a solution that was going to help us scale, and while also giving us the visibility that we weren't able to find from other tools. So we set out to build our own product, and that's where Levy came from. And it's Levy, L-E-V-V-Y. It stands for taking your firm to the next level, leveling up. So Levy is a practice management tool that really focuses on bringing the work to the surface, allowing people to see what is really on deck for every single client. So what's different about Levy is that we keep a lot of the knowledge, we keep pulling client knowledge, the tools are in the work itself, communication is in the work itself, and sharing that information becomes super valuable across these teams. So for example, month close, sometimes we'll have 3 or 4 people working on a month close for one client. Levy organizes all the work on a per client basis. This way, everybody sees what's happening with their client across the whole firm. So it really helps breaking down silos. It keeps your fractional teams really integrated with your core team. Same thing, it's really game changing if you have or want to have an offshore team. Levy really fully integrates that offshore team, and you're allowed to really maximize their capacity.
That is super to hear. So now, because you really built this to satisfy yourself, how are you expanding the features? Are you mainly around tax and CAS? Do you have audit support? Just what are you trying to cover?
So what we're trying to cover right now is really nailing the internal communication. We do have internal file document storage. We have a password manager, but we're also able to capture and link the software that you're being used. So in CAS practice today, if you're doing accounting, CAS, and any advisory, you really have to merge your tech stack with your client's tech stack because you're accessing their technology to do your work, right? Yep. So that could mean 20 plus passwords, softwares, logins for every single client, right?
Yep.
So our practice had 150 clients, so you can imagine it's thousands of passwords and logins that change, right? So capturing that and making that accessible and secure and safe to share very strategically across your team, that's a really important feature in Levy. Document sharing, being able to have your team doing work, send a note to send a note out to the workspace and say, I need the payroll summary to finish this. Someone can just drag that right into the task and they can keep doing their work. Communication is really vital to keep this work going. We've had people tell us, I would send an email and be waiting for 30 minutes, spinning my wheels, waiting for an answer. With Levy, everyone's working in Levy, so it's almost like someone raises their hand when they need something, and really they can like get moving much faster.
Makes great sense. Yeah. Tell me what you consider your ideal size firm and about what the costs would be for that firm.
Sure. So ideally, it's a firm that has 10 plus employees. It could be less. There's really two criteria. Like if you're actually working with 20, 30 customers, you're starting to feel this pain. You're starting to feel like things are kind of spread out all over. We're going to have to find a system. But, we really work with firms that are acquiring other firms. Levy's a brilliant, unifying layer to bring all those firms together. So 50 employees to 100 is really where we're very active right now. So 30 growing to 50, 50 growing to 100. But I really encourage any firm owner at any size to actually adopt a tool like Levy, because when it really gives you the heads up when it's time to start hiring and increasing your headcount. So you don't want to wait for that moment. Our kind of basic pricing for a small firm is $59 per person per user. We don't have any limits on customers. We don't have any limits on workflows. And then we have a full firm offering, which is $79, and that will get you data migration, a lot more hand-holding on the onboarding, and then continuous training. So
super.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to learn more about your
I can't
platform.
wait to give you a demo.
And we will actually talk more, but such a pleasure to thank you for
Fantastic meeting you.
the explanation.
Thank you. Thanks for giving
Thank
me
you.
the time.
Good day.
Thank you very much.
All right, so friends, we'll probably have a future podcast where we include a full demonstration discussion about Levy, and Brian and I will get more details so we'll be accurate for our discussion. See you again soon. All right, so there's lots of great expense options in the market. Do recognize we have a full 2-hour CPE course on expense management. One of those options is File, and I thought we'd take the opportunity to talk with Vic here for just a minute, let him explain the product to you directly.
Thanks, Randy. Thanks for doing this. And as you mentioned, there are a lot of other solutions out there, but I'm going to talk to you about how we're different. File is the only expense management solution which is completely card agnostic. And by that, what I mean is we've partnered with MasterCard, Visa, and American Express, which allows us to bring in the feeds from any bank in real time. So customers can get to keep their existing credit cards, which are bank issued, and credit cards in the true sense, bring in those feeds and complete the expense management workflow completely. Imagine you are at a coffee shop or a Starbucks, right? So as soon as you swipe your card, we send a text message to the card holder asking them to submit a receipt. All they need to do is take a photo of the receipt, respond to that via text message, and File extracts that information in real time, codes it to the right chart of accounts, pushes it to an accountant to verify if everything is all right. And if the accountant verifies it, then it goes into your favorite accounting software. And that's how much we've simplified this whole process.
That sounds super, and I think one of the things to consider here is this idea of remaining on the bank cards keeps from all the switching from happening, and there's also less fees flowing through to the back end, so there's some real benefits. Brian and I will talk to you more about the banking things just because of the backgrounds, but Vic, thank you very much for the explanation. It's appreciated.
Thank you, Randy. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, very pleased to do so. Thanks for the interlude. All right, well, Brian, let's continue along here. So, in any case, so as we're looking at the show floor now, the Digits folks have got their Digits AI accounting out, and basically $100 per company per month to be able to run on this particular platform. And CEO Jeff Siebert's there doing his pitch, I guess I would say. And the good news is it's kind of crowded, but we're going to go through here anyway. Excuse us. Thank you. All right. So Adaptive here is one of the better finds that we've seen for new construction software in the past year or two or more, but very pleased with this particular approach to construction accounting. What are you doing? And as we continue along, of course, over on this side, we have JustWorks, which has been a PEO payroll solution, pretty dominant player. And of course, TaxDome, an international practice management product, which we've talked about in multiple podcasts through the years. Good day. And very well. And here we've also got Juno in play. All right. So I wanted to be aware of that. And over on this side, we've got TrueWin. This product was in the AICPA Accelerator program this year. Alex Lee got to have a keynote position here at Scaling New Heights.
The doctors have arrived.
We have indeed.
Federal state.
Sir.
Do I have a minute?
Actually, we're kind of recording live, but I would love to. But yes, we'll come back and talk to you.
I just had a call with John Howard.
Yes, understood.
It was a great conversation.
I'm glad.
To you in Washington.
Okay, I'd like to know that. Oh, that's good too. So, Alex, do you have a moment to talk about your platform?
Sure do.
Well, I thought you might. So, Alex is...
Is this live?
It is live.
Oh, hi there, everyone.
So this is Alex Lee, who's the CEO of TrueWin. This is one of the products that was in the AICPA's Accelerator program this year, and I figured who better to tell you about the platform than the man himself. So Alex, what would you like our listeners to know?
Thanks, Randy. What do I have? An hour or 1 minute?
Well, you know, it's probably a lot closer to a minute, but I'll give you some tolerance.
We're an AI for accountants solution. We're built for accountants. We're not a new general ledger. I tell everyone here, if you want a new GL, I will personally walk you over to Sasha at Puzzle and Jeff at Digits. Those are great solutions. But we're an AI solution that sits on top of your GL. Our core marquee feature would be taking the deposits from like a Shopify or an Airbnb or any like payment system, you know, those 20 invoices that get consolidated to one number in your bank statement. We do that reconciliation workflow. We help you solve revenue. And then we have prepaid, fixed assets, deferred revenue, flux analysis. We like to think of those as the cherries on top of our core platform. So
well,
that's what we do.
That's very good. And actually, you've got great clarity for that newlywed piece of you just coming back from Italy, right?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Got married. This is 3 weeks new, still getting used to it. Landed in San Francisco on Saturday, got on a flight to Las Vegas on Sunday for AICPA Engage. So quite the journey.
Quite the journey indeed.
Yeah.
Well, we'll continue to work with you and very pleased to have the
expedition. You guys are following the
expedition.
right guy with Randy. He's fantastic. We love him.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Alex.
All right. So we have here, of course, Mercury, which has been known for financing cards for some time. So here we have Navan, the company that just filed to quietly go public. All right. So they will be having a lot of traction around their public offering, but that's a quiet at this point. Now, Clockwork we've followed for at least 5 years, a very nice reporting product. It's one of the first products I saw that did reporting that had AI in it. So this is a product absolutely worth following. And over on this side is Puzzle. There are a few new digital accounting products to replace the traditional legacy products like QuickBooks, and Puzzle's clearly one of those, which is absolutely worth being aware of. Now, beyond Puzzle, excuse us, good day. Of course, at AICPA Engage, we saw the Blue Jay folks, and we've interviewed them there, so that's a tax research tool. And then off behind here, the Canopy folks, which have just started to add some AI document classification into their system. So Brian and I have a lot of history with this particular vendor. And if you take a look at another vendor where we've had a lot of history, It would be FreshBooks. FreshBooks has converted from a single ledger to a double entry system, improved their system notably over the last few years, but certainly worthy of some consideration as well. Now, Brian, I'm going to actually turn around and just make sure that we get the capes shot in app inventory. Okay.
Oh my God, that's Doug Levant.
Indeed. Haven't seen him in forever, huh?
You should talk to him.
Well, if he's got users there, we'll catch him on another turn.
Yeah, Doug's just in it for the groupies.
Yeah, well, that's probably it. Hi, Scott. Good day.
Oh, nice guy.
Thank you. So here we have an outsourcing company with Frontline. They're in the Philippines, and so this is one of about a half a dozen outsourced companies on the floor. And over here you have Intriga with their solution and basically automation on the bookkeeping side. Nice skirts. I would wear one of those. Tutus, sorry. Let me be more correct.
I would try to wear the point shoes here.
You know, we could do that. That would be fun, actually. All right, so
Do it for about 2 minutes, and then we go to computer search.
now DocuSoft here is an interesting automatic filing system. Notice they've got practice management portal and DMS, so they're kind of across 2 or 3 of the fronts here. Now, Katana has been around for quite some time on inventory. There's about 4 or 5 solutions on inventory that are currently on the floor. A few of them are a little bit newer, but this one is certainly worth some consideration. Good day. And these guys have been around for a bit. PABS has a service that's financial insights. So again, that's one we'd like you to be aware of. Good day. And as we continue on the tour, we have another, I'll call it new entry category for Finale with Finale inventory. So that's certainly a nice little product. And I think, Brian, I'm just going to spin around because I'd like for the attendees here to see the MyTask LMS and LMS type of system. And also next to that, the AccuEdge outsourcing group. And it looks like, darn, Mario is gone from Mendelsohn. I was going to actually try to get him to talk about his strategies. So on this side, we've got Succession Security, and they're across from another inventory offering, the Inflow inventory product. All right. So I like what these guys have done. We got to talk for a moment yesterday with the Vibe CFO. He's currently with an attendee, so we might cycle back and see if we can catch him. And these guys are doing outsource. I'm trying to make sure that we've got the name, the Analytics Solutions name. Sorry, I didn't get that picked up right away. Oh, our timing might be fortuitous. We had said that we would be back, so this is our back. So Cam, I'm sorry, Lynch, I didn't have your last name.
That's all right.
But he had talked to us, and he's from down under. So as it turns out, what would you like our listeners to know about your platform, Cam?
Well, over the past decade, I've worked with Power BI and Excel with larger firms, and it's a super powerful platform, but it's also time-consuming and complicated, and you've got to have skills to use it. So that's probably the number one reason I'm so excited about AI, because in my mind, the small to medium reporting space is going to be dislodged with, you just put the data in, and we're going to reach into what we want. We're just going to reach in and grab what we want. Show me gross profit margins this month versus last month by account name. Just give me it, and it will be able to instantly give it to you. But also, not just QuickBooks and Xero and the financial data, but operational data, HubSpot, your payroll systems, your operation, your inventory management systems. I just think the disjointed system is going to be all put back together.
Yep.
It's quite game changing what's happening in my space, that small to medium business reporting space. is really quite phenomenal what's happening.
Yeah, and when Cam told us about this yesterday, we were like saying, oh good, it is financial data, it is the operations data, it's all rolled together, which we think is pretty critical, and he's done the legwork behind it to make it easier for you. Yeah. So,
hey, the only other one thing I'd add as well is, you've been learning about GPTs from you, like where we build your own GPT. Well, we're doing that for you as well. Like, so you don't just connect the data, but you connect the business plan, the strategy, and then you can just have conversations. So show me your profit and loss, but they've got the business plan for that client as well. So it's like a GPT with the data at the same time. It's done the legwork for you.
I'm listening to you and hoping it's agentic, but is it, or do you know? Not yet.
I'm staying away from that for now.
That's staying away from that. That's okay.
Yeah.
But again, thank you for the explanation. Great to meet you.
Great to meet you, Andy.
Great success.
Thank you. Safe travels to you. Thank you.
Yep. So here we have the POE group advisors for selling firms. And over on this side are the Checks for Less folks. And I think, Brian, if we come on down this way, we've got the mayor of Dubai on the right here. Good. So here we have the Ignition folks, and they've had a proposal generation software for some time. They are making new efforts here in the United States market. And this group here, Brex, is getting a lot of traction with the new digital AI ledgers. So interestingly enough, they're connected with both Puzzle and with Digits AI. So there may be some additional things for you to learn about Brex. So from here, what I hope you also note, Reach Reporting out of Utah, those guys have board-ready reports. It's a very interesting platform. I like what they've been doing for a while. And Ramp, which has been venture capital funded, I think just got their 4th round of funding, if I remember that right. But they have a accounts payable and expense management system backed with credit cards as well. They recently lowered their client requirement for having depository accounts, which has made it a little easier for many. Now I think we'll go down this side aisle. So Keyence here, we've talked about in our RPA courses for some time, and still have that pretty broadly covered inside our K2 events and courses. And then on this side was the Accordance AI folks. Now again, they're a new player to this space, so you may want to look at Accordance and learn a little bit more about them.
Love the touch.
All right.
Nice touch.
Yeah, it is. Better than our lab coats.
Yes.
Yeah, so you've got that on tape, right?
Yep.
Sorry?
It's okay. You're
no,
okay.
No worries.
Sorry.
So here you have Pluto, and we've worked with Pluto for payment systems for quite some time. So they're a good player. And over here, of course, you've got Keepful. And in this particular case, they are really trying to do marketing automation for bookkeepers. Okay. Now, a long-term reporting system that we like is Sift. Sift was purchased by Xero, so wholly owned, much like HubDoc is today. And Fanatical here is doing a lot more of the Excel interfaces for QuickBooks and other systems. And as we continue on our little tour here, Go West has cybersecurity offerings, and Approval Max is doing both AR and AP automations. So they've been around for a bit. Then we have our Tax Pro and Advisor Pro marketers, so another group that's doing the marketing efforts. Long-term player in 1040 work paper automation is Gruntworks, and so we recommend that product pretty commonly. And then here at the end, we've got we've already covered AccuEdge, so we've got Geocon, which is basically connecting to Google, the Google environment. And Yearly 1099, we've recommended this platform for lots of different filing purposes for a long time, but Yearly is present. nice tutu on the guy. I hope you got that on tape. So, yeah, I am going to be happy. So we have Accountus here, which is AI-powered accounting and outsourced staffing. And then beyond that, we have the business formation product here with LLC Attorney. And it looks like Ader Branding's kind of tied up right now. We'll come back and try to pick him up on the flip back, but we've got timesheets on the far side too, as well as Zenit here, another one of your practice management systems out there. There's about 7 or 8 practice management systems on the floor. Now here, Stratafolio is a commercial property management platform. We haven't seen many other competitors here, so they may be a little bit more unique. QuickBooks primarily. WizCommerce has been around for a while. They are one of the leading players for e-commerce operations, and you can see that they interface to Xero and QuickBooks and Sage and others, so certainly good there. Of course, Rippling, we've been around for a long time, another one of the HR, payroll, PEO type of approaches. And you have CloudNet, one of the hosting services that's available here. And then beyond that, GKM, another outsourcing company along the way. Hey, and Max, who owns an outsourcing company. And of course, you've got Frost Law, the go-to tax attorney people. Very important system out of Pittsburgh, Soft Ledger. So CEO Ben is there, and we'll maybe let him finish up, and if he's got time, it looks like our timing might be perfect. So Ben, good to see you, man.
Hey, good to see you.
Do you have a moment to say something about Soft Ledger for our audience?
Of course.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Ben, CEO and co-founder here at Soft Ledger. We help companies manage multiple entities easily for if they've outgrown their bookkeeping software like QuickBooks or Xero and need to bring their multiple entities into one platform. And we're here talking to CAS practices and other outsourced accounting practices about how to do that to support their multi-entity clients.
That's super, Ben. So now, Soft Ledger is one of the platforms we've been recommending as an alternative for QuickBooks Desktop and out of QuickBooks Online. But this whole concept of multi-entity is part of what Soft Ledger has naturally. So if you haven't discovered Soft Ledger, you should talk to Ben and his team there. Thanks.
Thanks, Randy.
It's appreciated.
Good to see you.
So we have MyCP One, another educational provider. And then the Levitate folks, many of you know the historical founder here, which was Jess Lipson, who started ShareFile. This is Jess's new business for relationship management. And a lot of times CRM is considered a 4-letter word. This product works the way that professionals work for their business relationships. So that's a pretty good breakthrough. And of course here you've got the Summit folks, and Summit, as it turns out, is doing a nice job on the hosting, and that's been a long-term player. Now this group here, Brian and I need to spend some more time with, but you know them because of QBox, but they have a new practice management product called Basil. Did I pronounce that right? Basil or Basil?
Correct, Basil.
Basil, okay. Sorry, I'm trying to do it right.
No, that's perfect.
But in any case, we want you to be aware of that, and there's lots of interesting features in here. I think we'll spotlight this in a future accounting technology lab, but I wanted you to be aware of this new system that we were not aware of that's on the floor.
Thank you.
And of course, we have talked about Anchor in prior podcasts. You can see that they stole our lab coat idea, but we'll steal their stethoscopes and it'll all work out. But the Anchor platform is a good way to do proposals and payment management. And here at the show, they announced the new AI interface that they're working through for proposals. So that's kind of an interesting deal. And it looks like quite a few of the team from Israel's here as well. So. Have a good one. Thank you. Of course, now, Visory has been around for some time as a hosting provider, and they have very good service offerings. And kind of down this wing, you've got the Carbon Practice Management product, and they have announced integrations with Stanford Tax, their own portal. There's some other interesting goings on there. I did get to meet earlier today the FinSmart CEO, Manoj. He spoke from the main stage, but I also sat down and had a conversation with him. They're currently providing, they didn't want me to use the word outsourced services. They're providing embedded accountants for 80 firms right now with about 115 people, is what I was told today. We're going to cut this way. So these guys here are actually somewhat local. Bill 360 we talked to last year for the AR automation, and it turns out that Result Software has worked on some of the automation, but this is a nice overall AR system if you're looking for something a little more sophisticated with a little local flavor. And it's a little bit of a twist for you, Brian, but part of the AICPA CPA.com program is Giraffe, and this is a good FP&A reporting product. We've liked it for quite a long time. Now, as we continue, we're just about to clean up the initial walkthrough, and here we've got Financial Sense. Now, Shriram and the team here have built a very nice, simple, straightforward time and billing system. They got a little bit of light workflow in it, so it's a popular system to do that work. A good day. Okay, now here we've got payroll restoration, and they're basically are working on broken payroll. Rather interesting service offering. Good day. Now, we have done a podcast on Forwardly before, so the Forwardly people basically are doing the real-time FedNow payment systems. They've done that for a while. The system currently is at no charge interfaces with QuickBooks and Xero and Zoho. So anyway, you should be aware of that product.
Hi, Randy. How you doing? It's good to see you.
Good to see you as well. All right. Now, Brian and I have had the pleasure of talking to the Count folks in Dallas. This is another one of the practice management products that we want you to be aware of. I've recommended this one pretty regularly. And of course, we also have Judy McCarthy's company of Client Hub. She's maybe working with people right now, but if I get her attention, I bet you I can get her to say something about her platform. So we'll see if that works out. She looks intent. We may come back. She is intent. We're coming back. Right. Now, the NetGain folks have hosting services based on Azure. They've been around for quite a number of years, so if you're interested in pure hosting in an Azure environment, they've certainly got an offering that you could use. We also have ProfitSense. Now, ProfitSense has been around for decades. Point of disclosure, Brian and I actually did some of the design work on these folks originally. It was included with QuickBooks Desktop, but it's still one of the best comparative tools out there. Of course, another brokerage group to sell your practices. I'm smiling as I say this because their slogan says the phone system puts a smile on your face. I don't remember what year we first saw this at CES, Brian, but
It got to be 2011, 2012.
yeah, I was going to say 10, 15 years ago, something like that. But Ooma phone systems are on the floor, which I think is a good idea. And of course, with Financially Fit Business, they're basically trying to help you run the business more profitably. So consultants to the profession. Now these guys I've talked to in the past. They help with CFO training. There's about 3 or 4 organizations around the country right now that are doing the CFO training, but what they've got is a pretty good offering. And of course the Tax Now folks are also optimizing for tax purposes, so that's their basic offering. We have here the order time inventory folks, again, one of the other inventory offerings around the country, okay, or on the floor. And inventory seems to be kind of a big item this year, and it's probably because of the desktop migration, trying to get people over into QuickBooks is part of the motivation, I suspect. Then for here, we have the FinOptimal folks. Now on this one, they're basically expense, prepaid and deferred expense. And we'll come this way so you guys can get around. And here we have Media Books, basically trying to do, well, they say creative accounting not being a bad thing. I think that's good, but they're a marketing company. And of course, the McGowan folks we've known for some years. Good day, how you doing? Very well. And it turns out you can see that they're basically professional liability insurance. And I don't even know how many years you guys have been in business.
27 years.
27 years, so a long time. But 27 seems pretty short to me nowadays, just for the record. Yeah, pretty funny. So then we have Inspire, the outsourcing company here. And I think Judy is still tied up. So Firm 360 is another one of the practice management products that we've talked to you about through the years. But again, one of about 7 players. I've recommended this product pretty regularly. And of course, the timesheets folks are here. So what I'm thinking is, this almost gets us to the end of the tour, but I'd like to maybe clean up on the Woodard booth down the way. And we might have missed a few people that we can loop back to. But at least at this point, let's just go down the path here. All right. So now we've actually looked at all these. The floor has 150 vendors on it is the real number, just so you've got that. Brian and I were kind of estimating AICPA Engage had 200. So again, very representative here. But, oh good, well you weren't here before, so I couldn't interview you.
Oh, cool.
So that's, oh yeah, you do.
Look, I love your coat.
Thank you. I love your shirt.
Oh, thank you. Green for Gruntworks.
All right. Yeah, it is great for Gruntworks. Great for Gruntworks. We can play some alliterative games here. All right. Well, I've got the mic for you. Okay. So this is Stacy Penna with Gruntworks. They're a 1040 work paper product with some human verification, but she can probably say all those things better than I can. So what should our listeners know about you?
Well, Gruntworks, we've been around for 25 years, so we're a very established, respectful company out there, and we can help automate your 1040s, and we work with 7 different tax software, so we can integrate in 7 different ones, and just come by our booth and check us out.
Oh, that's super. Thank you very much. A great product. A little point of disclosure, we did a lot of the original design work with the platform, and it's been solid all those 25 years. There's some others, I don't recommend, but this one we do.
Thank you very much, Randy.
See you later.
Bye.
All right. So, I think here we just want to give a tip of the hat, and this is probably good here, Brian, because Joe Woodard and his team have produced actually a very strong show here. And oh, by the way, guess who's also back at his booth now? Before we clean up here, we'll probably actually step over and pick up Mario, if that's okay with you. So may I bother you, because I came by to interview you and you were gone. I was gone. You making these guys work and you're just out doing CEO things. Oh, it's doing CEO things. Okay, that's what he should tell you.
I was not working. Was I supposed to be working?
Oh yeah, I guess not. So misguided. All right. Now I don't know how many years I've known you, Mario, but a long time.
15, 20 probably, I would say.
Yeah, maybe more. Maybe more. But in any case, so he's had his company multiple different iterations. Rather than me trying to explain it, I'll let Mario do the explanation if you
Our
don't mind.
company has gone through many iterations. Yeah,
It has.
Yeah, we won't take back to all the beginning of time, but we are Intuit's very first and oldest QuickBooks solution provider, Intuit partner. We basically started the program with them and grew over the years. I've always been top 1, 2, or 3 in their partner program, and we've expanded about 8 years ago. We spun off our cloud MSP practice. So we started with our QuickBooks on Azure offering. That has grown steadily, and now it is in its own 2 feet and making money finally, yes, after a few years. And once we had that up and running, we were able to now refocus on our next area of growth, which is ERP. So we're growing our Microsoft Dynamics practice, specifically with Dynamics 365 Business Central for the businesses that are growing QuickBooks, which is why our Beyond QB initiative is about.
Yep.
And it's all about education, especially in our environment, with our peers and in this environment, educating the accounting community on this, so that everyone understands that there is a world beyond QuickBooks.
Absolutely. Well, it turns out his explanation there probably got me back to when we met, because since we created the QuickBook Partner Program at Intuit, I believe we might have known each other since the late 90s then.
That would be correct.
So now all of a sudden it's a 27 or 28-year-old. Things fly. Times flies when you have fun.
20, yeah, it is more like, yeah.
But also the hosting services that Mario's put up, that's a very nice offering. And having the maturity to say, you know what, we need something beyond QuickBooks. That's where the new practice, and frankly, we intersected on the education stuff too.
That is very true.
So we've been kind of on parallel paths, but you've been doing it in a much more, what would we say, friendly environment with the nice sun of Florida, where I've been in the harsh winters of Kansas. I don't know.
It's been, can't complain about Florida. Yeah, we get the midsummer torrential storms, and then everything dries out in 15 minutes. But that's how it is.
And then a little hurricane to kick in. Oh no. Okay. Hey Mario, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you for doing it.
All right. See you later. Sorry, Brian, to take you away from Woodard here, but you had the Woodard background. So I think what we'll do is we'll come over to our friend here, Todd, and just see if we can pick up another final piece here. Hey.
Doctors are in the house.
The doctors are in the house. Do you have a minute to explain some of the Woodard programs?
Absolutely.
Well, how long have we known each other, Todd?
Oh, God, Randy, probably at least 15 years.
Oh, did you hear that? The guy really understands how to make me feel good. Oh, Randy, you're such a god. I think, isn't that no, that's not quite what he said. No. Now, Todd I've known from lots of different companies through the years, but his migration over here to Woodard is good for Woodard, and I think it's good for the profession and probably good for you. Tell us about what you do with Woodard and what I should know.
Well, you're right. I've always been on the technology side, as you know, for a number of the vendors. I always try to stay one step ahead of where I think the technology is taking the profession. But it has been an interesting transition over to Woodard, which is more of a membership, coaching, mentoring, and consulting company. There is a bit of a marketing side to us in what we do with Scaling New Heights. This is our 17th year producing this event. We bring together about 2,000 practitioners along with our exhibitors and sponsors. 160 educational and informative sessions, 140 technology vendors here on our exhibit floor. So this is a big part of what Woodard does, but in addition to that, we want to just coach our attendees on how to become better business advisors to their clients. And we've developed a methodology called the Ideal Practice Model, very similar to like an EOS methodology, but geared towards accounting practices, so big difference there. And this isn't hard skill training on how to do debits and credits and bank reconciliation. This is on how to run a better, more efficient business. That's what we're going to train and educate our members on. And in addition to that, we're also providing some CAS consulting services, which is primarily what I do for the company. But that's a quick summary, Randy.
That is a super summary.
Yeah.
And Woodard has multiple memberships. It seems to me like there's 3 levels available or something like that.
There were 3 levels. We actually just launched a 4th level called our community membership, because as we're seeing within the profession, there seems to be more and more communities coming together. And we've been doing this for over 20 years, Scaling New Heights for 17, and we have a very large community. So we just launched a new community membership, kind of getting on the base level or floor level, and expand with us from there. And then we have our Select membership. It's more of kind of a self-taught membership, access to a lot of the content and the resources that are available. Our Advantage membership will get them some group coaching and mentoring, a little bit more accountability. And in our Premium membership is one-on-one coaching, and again, access to all of the Woodard resources. Includes a Scaling New Heights registration every year. Also Woodard Summit, which is where we bring our members together 6 months after Scaling New Heights. That's a hardcore 3.5-day workshop led by Joe Woodard and Patricia Hendricks on just how to run a better business.
Wow, that sounds super. I did not know about the new 4th level. That's good. So you going to go fishing this weekend with Jay? What are you going to do here?
My son.
Or did you bring him here?
No. Well, I brought him down last year, and we did the whole Disney thing last year. But this year, no. He just finished 8th grade and is moving into 9th grade. He's a full-fledged teenager now, so I can't get him out on the lake as much as I used to.
Oh man, that hurts my soul.
I know,
like watching your pictures.
It hurts mine too, because I enjoyed those days, Yep. And I got a lot of cool videos to reflect back on. But I appreciate that.
Yeah, you got to take every day for what it is.
Yeah.
Well, again, Todd, I've known for so many years, but I think what he's doing here with Woodard is notable. And if you're not familiar with the Woodard service offerings, you can look at woodard.com to become familiar with that. Or register and attend Scaling New Heights. That will continue to be here in Orlando through 2029, and each year they have a new theme. But normally this will be one of the biggest, if not the biggest, accounting show in the marketplace. And this year we saw lots of new innovative vendors on the floor. So thanks for wrapping us up that way, Todd.
Yeah,
so again,
thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
Yeah, very much so. All right, see you later.
Take care.
All right. Well, as you heard, lots going on at this year's event. And Brian and I appreciate Brian running the camera and letting me kind of be the talker. So as it turns out, Scaling New Heights has been teaching client accounting services and support, not only for QuickBooks, but for other ecosystems, including Xero, including Zoho Books. And we're seeing that there's brand new AI accounting products coming to market. The Digits AI accounting, the Puzzle, and you've still got lots of third-party and hosting and other capabilities on the floor. So if you have specific vertical industries you're trying to service, we have a number of those products that we can talk about. And Brian and I ask you to always reach out if you've got a question about any accounting technology, and we'll see if we can cover it in the Accounting Technology Lab. We've enjoyed being able to give you this tour, and we'll see you again in another podcast.